Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 1989 horror sequel, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. The film is directed by Stephen Hopkins and it stars, of course, Robert Englund, and we have Lisa Wilcox returning as Alice from the last film. Right, okay, the plot of this Freddy sequel, it follows on from the last film. Essentially, Freddy once again starts mopping up the people who live from the last film, starts killing them off, and he's once again after Lisa Wilcox's character Alice, who defeated him in the fourth film. Now, Alice has just become pregnant by her boyfriend Dan. However, she can't understand how Freddy is still managing to use her abilities to drag other people into her dreams, sort of thing, so that he can kill. And then she discovers that it is because of her child that she's carrying, who he's dreaming in the womb, sort of thing. And that's how Freddy is managing to do what Freddy does and slice up everybody that poor little Alice knows. So it's up to Alice to try and figure out how she can stop Freddy once again, so that she can have the birth of her child without Freddy, trying to slice and dice everything within arm's distance of her. Right, what are my thoughts on A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child? Well, I think it's very clear by this point the films were almost becoming caricatures of themselves. I started to, I'm not going to lie, I started to lose a little bit of interest in the last one, the fourth one. It felt like it was just treading on familiar ground, and very much so on this one. I have to be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy this one. The best thing about this, as it is in every one of the films, is Robert Englund again as Freddy, being menacing and comical, or all that kind of stuff, and the inventive kills that we get again in this film, and the effects. These are all the positives from the film. I found the rest of it very tired, the formula, by now. Definitely it had lost its inspiration. It genuinely felt like they were just rehashing the same things, just with a slight twist on it, and the twist here obviously is the Dream Child angle. I found as well some of one of my comments from the last film that I reviewed, and if you don't know, I'm reviewing all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I thought the acting in the last one was subpar at times. While I thought Lisa Wilcox, I enjoyed her character this time round than last time. I think I would say the characters surrounding her were all desperately uninteresting and performed pretty badly as well by the actors around her. And for me, it just I click off. You know what I mean? If the acting, it's almost like daytime TV, so daytime soap acting. It's just dull, and like the drama outside of the dreams and stuff. It's just doesn't sit with you, and it doesn't impact you at all. So all you really find yourself waiting for in this film is the next sequence for Freddy in it, which are obviously the highlights of the film. Of course they are. But what has made the more successful films in this franchise good are the characters outside of Freddy. They make them interesting, characters that you can root for, well written, all that kind of stuff. And this really doesn't have it. This, interestingly, was directed by Stephen Hopkins, who I think is an extremely underrated director. He's directed things in the past, like he's done Predator 2, Lost in Space, which I think is an underrated film, The Dark Tower. He's done a lot of stuff over the years, and I think he's quite an underrated director. But I think, as I say, at this point in the franchise, I think they were so stuck for ideas. It's not necessarily the competency of the director that's at fault here. It's the writing really, and the story. It's just very, very tired at this point. And the more I've been watching these films, because like I say, I have been watching all these Nightmare on Elm Street films, and even though I've seen them all previously, it's a long time since I've seen certainly like from like 4, 5, and number 6. I haven't seen them for a long, long time, so I barely remember them. And the more I'm watching them, the more I'm kind of remembering. You know, at the time I used to read loads of different movie magazines, you know, when I was younger, and I remember that by the time this one came out, the franchise was definitely not only feeling tired to probably the general public, but, you know, critics and, you know, I remember the magazines I was reading at the time were kind of, you know, oh, here we go, another Nightmare on Elm Street film. They were kind of diluting the impact of the first one. And I remember that's why in the next one, which I've yet to watch and review, you know, Freddy's Dead sort of thing, The Final Nightmare, they kind of made a big thing of like having like a funeral for Freddy and stuff like that, you know, to kind of promote the movie, even though he came back again just a few years after with New Nightmare. So it's no wonder really that me watching this all these years later, the format feels tired by this point, and it absolutely did. But I do. What absolutely kept my interest up in this film was definitely the inventive kills. I mean, there's a great one with someone on a bike. I believe it's the boyfriend Dan. He's like on a motorbike driving along, and obviously he gets caught in a dream by Freddy. And what happens to him, I thought, was really creative and really inventive. You know, there's quite a fun sequence with this young girl that wants to be a model that kind of, again, gets taken over by Freddy in a dream and force-fed and things like that. So, and there's another one who's like an artist who does like comic characters and stuff, and how Freddy deals with him. Again, I thought was quite inventive. But while they were all quite inventive, the big difference here between some of the other Freddy films, it wasn't scary. They were at times quite comical, quite creative, quite inventive, but not scary. I don't remember feeling scared at all watching this one. And that's definitely what you don't want with a Nightmare on Elm Street film. You need to be scared of Freddy. So yeah, I have to say, I think this is the weakest one I've watched so far. Yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments, guys. What are your thoughts on this Nightmare on Elm Street film? I'm sure there are some fans of this one out there that, you know, enjoy the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and this probably has a place for them in their heart, sort of thing. But this one, I'm not going to lie, I really struggled with. So it makes me worry, if you like, for the next one. I mean, I don't remember the sixth one at all, if I can be honest, even though I know I've seen it, which probably means I've suppressed the memories of it because it's probably pretty terrible. But let me know what I'm in for, guys, when I watch the sixth one. And then I have to be honest, after that, I'm really looking forward to rewatching New Nightmare. And then I'm going to do Freddy vs. Jason, and then I'm going to look at or re-look at the remake that they did in 2010 or whenever it was. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out this review. If you did, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will of course be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.